Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another week of English 235. I apologize for this later video than normal. We had some cold symptoms with the kiddos. Not COVID. We tested. Everything's good there. But it does make things a little crazy in the house with a sick 3-year-old and a sick 1-year-old running around. So things are a little behind in terms of videos this week. But I'm excited to touch base with you guys and see how I can help you as we go through this coming week together. So as you'll see on our calendar, just like we do every week, we check over what's coming our way. We've got some excellent reading from your Markle text. We're going to be reading chapter 16, which is all about writing proposals. This is something that you might find yourself doing if you work in any fields that require outside funding, particularly like grant funding. If you're in any of those kind of finance kind of fields, the area, the Hanford Project, all of that relies on a lot of federal funding, which they have to request through proposals. If you work in construction, you have to write proposals to get jobs. If you work in business, you have to write proposals to get clients. There's a lot of different ways that we can write proposals. And so I want to cover one of those ways in this class, but if you're interested in other purposes or other forms, this chapter is especially helpful for that kind of stuff. And then we're going to be working on our topic proposal, and it's going to take the form of a memo. Have you ever had to write a memo before? You would think that this would be an outmoded form of communication, just because we are so digital now, but the memo is proving its longevity as it is transferring to the digital medium instead of just being handwritten memos as maybe folks would have encountered 20, 30 years ago. So memos, yay. So we get to learn how to do a proposal, which is an important skill, and also a memo, which is pretty much a standard document in almost all office settings. So lots of good skills coming our way this week. We've got another reading about research, which is going to play into your memo, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So the research is really helpful as you design your memo. And then you're just going to be working on this. Also, as we move forward, you can spend some time reading, choosing the appropriate kind of graphic, because some of your research for the memo might include images you wish to include in your project. So all good things to keep an eye on. The memo is rather a challenging document, and so I do want to do a peer review for this, and you'll see more about that in just a minute. And then you'll be submitting that topic proposal in the memo form on Sunday. And so I want to go into these instructions real quick, just to clear up any kind of confusion we might have. So we've got our topic proposal. This document is designed for you to tell me what you want to research for your recommendation report. And we do have a nice template for you here that you can download and take a look at. What this document is going to have you do is structure the memo in a certain way. One of the important things about memo is structure. It follows a very specific kind of format. And so if you take a look at your memo here, it has a very specific heading. Memorandum, all in caps. That's going to stay. You don't need to change that. Type the current date and type it in long form. So this would be November 11th, 2020. You're then going to include who the memo is to. You're writing the memo to me because I'm your instructor. So you'll put that here. You'll put your name in the from. And then subject, you can just leave this subject. You don't even have to change it. Topic proposal for recommendation report. In your memorandum, you're going to want to delete all of this instruction stuff. So just take that out, and this will be the form it's going to follow. You want to announce the topic of your report, summary of problems, tell me why this report should be written. Let me know what type of report you want to use, whether it's a feasibility or career feasibility or comparative report, and how did you choose this particular one. The most common error in the memo is that somebody just writes feasibility report, period, and that's all they say. But I do need to know how this particular type is suited to your topic. Then tell me a little bit about your methods of research. How are you finding things? You might be using Google. That's a fine place to start. But you can also consider using some of the CBC library databases. And if you need help using those, let me know and I can help walk you through some of those systems. And then I'd like you to tell me a little bit about who you're wanting to interview. I know you submitted those interview informant profiles. Fabulous, great work on those. Remind me who you're wanting to talk to and why they're a good fit in this memo as well. You'll find in most business writing there is some overlap that takes place. You'll feel like you said the same thing 12 times before you get awarded a contract. It's just the nature of the system. So tell me one more time who you want to interview, and then any figures you want to use, and that's why that reading about graphics can be helpful. It tells me a little bit about how you're planning on incorporating design into your document. And remember, you want at least 2 types of figures. They can't all be graphs or all images from the internet, right? We need some variety. So tell me what kind of variety you're planning to include. Beneficiaries of the report, who is going to benefit from this? The answer could be just you, if you want. If you're doing a career feasibility report, you're probably the one who's going to benefit the most from that. Maybe your family, if you're going to be a breadwinner, but mostly it's going to be you who's benefiting from that report. So outline who those beneficiaries are. And then most people find section 7 the most challenging of this document, and that's because it is an annotated bibliography. And the annotated bibliography is a fancy way of saying research journal. So you may have had to do one of these in English 101. If so, this will be smooth sailing for you. If you haven't ever had to do an annotated bibliography, it sounds worse than it is, if that makes you feel any better. So an annotated bibliography, basically just a research journal. So you include, for each of your 5 sources, a APA formatted citation. You can do this through any of the citation generators like EasyBib or NightCite. You can also use, if you're using the CBC library databases, they automatically create these citations for you, which is incredibly time-saving. And you can just copy it into here. So the first thing in an annotated bibliography is the citation itself. The second thing I'm going to be looking at is the annotation. So it's an annotated bibliography. The citation is the bibliographic information. That's where bibliography comes from. And the annotation is the whole paragraph. So that's why it's called an annotated bibliography. Fancy, huh? So this paragraph needs to do a couple things. Really just 2. So we can handle that. Just 2. We got this. It needs to tell me the main point of the article. So summary. We worked on summary in our worksheets a couple weeks ago, so you guys are obviously all pros by now. Just a couple sentences tells me the main point of the book or the article. And then the last little bit of your paragraph is reflection. How could the work fit into your investigative report? And it's fine to use first-person language there if you want to. Say, I plan on using this source to support my idea that it's better to put frosting on cupcakes than peanut butter. Please don't put peanut butter on cupcakes. That'd be weird, right? So the reflection, you're just going to tell me how it fits into your report, how you're going to utilize this source. And you're going to do that for all 5. And these are going to be in alphabetical order. So you're going to want to follow all the conventions of APA style, and part of that is alphabetizing as well. I've got the sample here for you to help you out. This is a pretty standard length, about 150 words. 100 to 150 words is pretty standard. If you find yourself going over 250 words, see if you can't pare it down a little bit, because then it's getting too long. If it's under 100 words, you've probably not said enough about the source. So anywhere between 100, 150 words, really good ballpark to shoot for. All those are going to be alphabetized and in APA style. I've got the APA style guide linked for you here if you want. That's all very helpful stuff. And then if we go into the modules tab, I've got some additional help for our memos here. Guys, also take a moment, pat yourselves on the back. Look at all of the assignments we have already completed. You guys are absolute rock stars, right? Good work. Good work. So if you go down to the folder, Proposal for Recommendation Report, I have so much good stuff for you here. I've got a whole bunch of background on the recommendation report so that you know exactly what you're going to be expected to do. It's much easier to write a memo if you know what the end goal is. And the end goal for the memo is right here for you. So I have a Prezi from the library. If you're not sure how to use library sources, This Prezi is super helpful, helps you with keywords, shows you how to look up different documents, shows you where the cool little cheats are, like the automatic citations. All that's here for you. Also, if you ever get stuck, the CBC librarians are like my favorite people in the entire world. I kid you not, there is a lady named Molly Mooney, and she is the best librarian that has ever existed in the history of librarians. That's not an exaggeration. She truly is. She has vibrant blue hair, which is gorgeous on her, and she wears cat-themed dresses. Yes, it's that good. She's amazing. So if you need help, you can go to the CBC Library website. I'll link it with this announcement. And you can get on a 24-hour chat service, like an IM, where you can just chat with them real quick. You can send them an email, give them a phone call, ask for a Zoom session. They are there to help you out. And believe me when I say they are incredible. So utilize them if you need some help. Here is the template that we looked at for the memo. Here is a wonderful PowerPoint going into more depth and detail about memos and in particular annotated bibliographies. And I do have a whole recorded lecture about annotated bibliographies. So if you're confused about that portion, do check it out. It is worth a lot of points. So spend some time on that. If you get stuck, let me know, but this recorded lecture will be really helpful for you as you're completing that task. So lots of good stuff coming our way this week as we continue to truck forward through November. Hopefully you guys are staying well and staying warm in this chillier weather. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. Let me know. I'm here to help, and have a great week, guys.